I have to pay the watermelon tax. Thank you, Mouse. Sweet, juicy summer watermelon for breakfast.
Hi.
Hi, friends.
This is our breakfast we ate.
They both keep saying hi, friends, from the table. What are you guys having?
Sausage and gravy.
Sausage, gravy, and biscuits. We made biscuits and sausage gravy homemade for Dad for Father's Day yesterday, didn't we? Is that Daddy's favorite breakfast? You guys had watermelon, but that was quickly gone. It has been a weekend full of barbecue and hangouts with friends. It was so fun. I'm definitely dragging a little bit this morning, and I just wasn't feeling like eating a whole lot first thing today. I had my coffee and I'm just having a bowl of watermelon. One thing about being on my like refreshed calorie deficit and intermittent fasting weight loss journey is I'm trying to listen to my body more. So if I'm not super hungry, I'm not gonna eat a lot, and then I'm sure it'll balance out throughout the day, but I'm not gonna force myself to eat a meal if I'm just not feeling up to it. So I'm just having a light bowl of watermelon, and the girls and I are trying to make some plans. It has been thunderstorming day after day with torrential downpours. I feel like for an entire week. Last week we scheduled and canceled and rescheduled swim lessons and outings at parks with friends and things like that constantly every single day. So I'm hoping if the weather holds out, we can go get outside and just get some fresh air before it gets too hot and humid this afternoon and just spend the morning outside. The aftermath of having people over last night, we cleaned up pretty much everything except for these few dishes that needed to soak, and I need to hand wash my wine glasses. Josh and I rarely drink. Like on occasion, we'll make some fun cocktails or have a glass of wine if we're out to dinner or with friends. Last night, our friends brought over some wine and beer, and I had one glass of wine, and I woke up with the most horrible headache at like 5:30 in the morning. But I think a big part of that was I was just dehydrated because I had been running around. We went from a church to grabbing stuff we needed for the barbecue. I got home and spent a few hours prepping everything and making food and stuff like that before people came over. Josh was out on the barbecue. He made ribs on his smoker yesterday. That's like all Josh ever wants for Father's Day is he wants biscuits and gravy for breakfast. He wants to be able to smoke something and barbecue outside, and he wants cookie cake for dessert. Did you help make cookie cake for Dad for dessert yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just a really busy day, and then friends came over and we were having a good time hanging out. I definitely was not drinking enough water. So I'm actually gonna make myself a little electrolyte drink to sip on while I tackle getting these clean dishes put away and washing up the last few things I have. Crock-pot mac and cheese is so good with barbecue, but it does leave quite a mess in my crock-pot. So I would say it's still worth the effort of having to clean it afterwards though. Yesterday while I was prepping everything for the party in the kitchen, I also went ahead and fed my sourdough starter and put together a dough just for a fresh artisan sourdough loaf that we can use with sandwiches this week. It was really warm in the kitchen because it was hot outside and humid. I was cooking for the party and other events, so it was really warm in the house, and it slightly overproofed my dough, which is why it looks a little lumpy and bubbly. But my rule with sourdough is always just try and bake it anyway. Half the time it still comes out great. So that's what I'm doing this morning. I made the dough yesterday. It proofed throughout the day yesterday, and then after I shaped it, I put it in the fridge overnight, and I'm baking it off this morning. If you're looking for some homemade sourdough recipes, I do have a full playlist here on my channel where I share some of my favorite go-to sourdough recipes. And then while I let my dough bake in the oven, my little Nora kept coming to me with books. So we had some book reading time this morning while we waited for our bread to bake. Made it to the park. Girls are playing on the playground. It's so nice and sunny after days and days of thunderstorms, so we're so happy to be outside. Got my bread finished in the oven. We got ready for the day. Packed our waters and snacks that we always have to travel with. The girls and I both had our snacks in the car on the way over. I myself had some peanut butter crackers and some light string cheese for a little snack. I was starting to get hungry since I didn't eat much this morning yet for breakfast. We are a little bit low on grocery kind of stuff. It's the beginning of the week. I did take a minute this morning to kind of nail out my meal plan and place a grocery order pickup at H-E-B. So we're gonna swing by on our way home from the park to grab those, and then I'll be able to share the haul with you guys and make some lunch for the kiddos. Just a part of my normal Monday routine is getting our meals straight and in place and our groceries ready to go. I feel like getting this done every Monday helps me be prepared, spend less on groceries throughout the week, and having a plan helps me to stay on top of my eating game goals with my calorie deficit. Back from the park, and I ran over and got my H-E-B pickup done. Let me show you guys what I picked up for this week. I really didn't need too much, just a few things to top off stuff I still had left from last week's haul. I needed some more fruit. We got a pineapple. These were on sale this week. This one smells so good. It's not as yellow as sometimes pineapples are when I get them, but it smells really, really sweet. So I think this one is pretty much ready to cut and get prepped for the week. I bought some more sweet corn to put on the grill this week. Blueberries was a Nora favorite that she asked for, and my girls have been loving the white nectarines since they've been in season, so I picked up more of those. I grabbed some head lettuce just to add on top of sandwiches and tacos, that kind of thing. So I grabbed a package of tortillas, regular ones for the family. We'll use these for a taco night this week, or for quesadillas and stuff like that as the kids want them for lunches throughout the week. I grabbed another package of the Mission Balanced tortillas. These are low carb option. And I like to use those either for, I used them last week for breakfast burritos, which I shared in a previous video, if you want to check out for that recipe. But I also like using these just to make my own sandwich wraps on. They just help me balance my day a little bit. I grabbed some more sharp cheddar cheese, Kobe Jack cheese, and oven roasted turkey for sandwiches this week. And then a lot of this is just kid kind of stuff, restocking. I got some apple cinnamon applesauce pouches, 2 Lunchables, one for each of the girls. I'm gonna bring these with to the pool on Wednesday when they have their swim lesson. That way we'll do lessons, have lunch, and then stay and splash around at the pool for a while for our activity for the day. I grabbed some kettle corn popcorn for like an afternoon snack. Really tasty, and it fits really easily in a calorie deficit plan when I'm just looking for like a little salty snack. I have some also mini peanut butter crackers. These are the same ones I had this morning, but that was the end of the box, so I had ordered another one, thankfully. The kids love these. Goldfish for the girls, and we haven't had snack bars in a while, so Lila wanted the peanut ones, Nora asked for strawberry bars. This morning, I just baked off this fresh sourdough loaf for sandwiches or toast for the week, and then I had some veggies in the fridge yet, but I knew if I caught them cut up this morning and prepped into a veggie tray, we would actually eat them up. So I have red, orange, and yellow bell peppers sliced and ready to eat, some celery and some baby carrots, and then that is my homemade ranch dip. It's just plain non-fat Greek yogurt, ranch seasoning, and a little bit of water to thin it out to the perfect dip consistency. So we can just pop these out on the table for lunch or snacks or side dishes with dinner. And my family, myself included, eat so many more fresh vegetables when I have a fun little veggie tray that I just like pop out for either a snack or a pre-dinner appetizer, or even as our side dishes with dinner, especially if we're doing a lot of grilling. I don't have a lot of protein in my haul because I have a lot stocked in my freezer yet for this week to use up. And we've been doing a ton of grilling on our Blackstone. So we'll grill up a protein of some sort, have some fresh veggies, or I'll pull it out and bring out salad stuff, and we can use those prepped veggies from the veggie tray on top of a salad as a side with our dinners. So that's the kind of prep that I am doing this week. I'm just not doing big meal prep kind of stuff, like one meal for breakfast, one meal for lunches, because we have a lot of stuff we got to eat up at home. Salads and sandwiches for lunches. I have things to make yogurt bowls or oatmeal. Lots of eggs and veggies home to make scrambles or something more eggy breakfasty, so we got lots of options. Speaking of sandwiches or wraps, I'm gonna make one of these wraps with our turkey and cheese I just picked up from the store and my low carb burrito sized tortilla. I'm making a wrap for lunch. An easy way to kind of keep on top of how much you're putting on your wrap when you're making it, so you're not guessing and can keep on top of your calorie count, is I have my low carb wrap on top of a plate. I put on my little bit of Greek yogurt dressing, about 2 tablespoons, and then for the meat, I just have it on top of my kitchen scale, and I zero it out between each step. So this was zeroed out with the plate wrap and sauce on it, zeroed it out, added my turkey, 2 ounces, and then I just zero it out again, and add my cheese. These are sliced nice and thin, so they're only about 1/4 ounce each. So just about 1/2 ounce there with 2 slices of cheese. Lettuce, I'll just eyeball. It's practically 0 calories, and honestly, I'm not being bounced out of my calorie deficit by a small handful of lettuce. That's not my diet killer. So anyway, that's how I measured out my wrap. I'm gonna have one of these beautiful white nectarines on the side. This one is like perfectly ripe and a crispy Dr. Pepper Zero. Cutting noodle?
Yeah.
Whoa, skipped one.
You do it one. You try, Nora.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here we come. Where's Nora? I found you. I found toes. You're supposed to wait for me to find you. I'm like melting from how sweaty and hot it was outside, but the girls and I got back inside from playing just in time. It is thundering out and rain is coming. At least we got outside for a little bit today, but they are hanging out watching something. I'm gonna have a Built Bar for a snack, boost up my protein for the day. I love these Built Bars. They're probably the only protein bar I've ever had that I really love, specifically the puff versions. They're like chocolate covered marshmallows. This one's coconut. It's my favorite flavor. I love the texture of these. I was watching my calorie deficit throughout the day today, and it's on the lower side, but that's because this evening we had leftovers from our barbecue party the other day. St. Louis pork ribs, crock pot mac and cheese, homemade coleslaw. This was a delicious meal. It packs a good amount of protein and still fit within my calorie deficit for the day. Closing out my intermittent fasting window, and I have plenty of room left in my meal plan today, and I'm gonna have one of these individual cups of vanilla ice cream. Our neighbor brought these over when they came over for our Father's Day barbecue yesterday to share. They're such cute little cups from HEB, and they're only 140 calories for the individual portion. Obviously, buying little individual portioned items is usually more expensive than the bulk stuff, but when you're on a health journey, sometimes you want a sweet little treat. Having these individually packaged up helps me stay in my calorie deficit, but have a little treat. It's the perfect portion size. So I'm gonna have a sweet bite with my family, and that's gonna end my day. Thanks so much for following along today. Please subscribe and like if you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.